In this example, you're asked to simplify this example right here. Let me just highlight it in. Right, you're asked to simplify. But before we begin, let's review the order of operations. Number one, perform all operations within a parentheses. Do not confuse this with operation of multiplication where a parentheses may appear. All right. Next, do all exponents. Then, working left to right, perform all multiplications and divisions, whichever comes first on the left. Then perform all additions and subtractions. All right. Let's look at our note below. It says rule number 1 pertains to operations inside of a parentheses, and the important word is inside. Well, let's take a look at this example right here. The first step is perform the operation within the parentheses, so 3 minus 5 is -2, and then rewrite whatever you are not using, bring it down. All right, next we want to perform the exponent, so it's -2 squared is 4. Then the next step is multiply before subtraction, so that's -12, -1, and the final answer is -13. All right, in the next example, which is right over here. Here there is no operation within a parentheses, but there is a division, there is a multiplication, and there is a subtraction. According to the rules of rule number 3 above, it says perform all multiplications and divisions from left to right. Well, it appears that the division is left of the multiplication. So first thing we want to do is 24 divided by 2, then multiply by 3, and then subtract 1. 24 divided by 2 is 12, then 12 times 3 is 36, 36 minus 1, final answer is 35. All right, now let's try our example right here. Can't seem to get this right. Okay, so let's try this example right here. Well, I just want to make a note to the right. It says this can be written horizontally if you choose to do so. Notice I'm using a set of brackets right here. All right, a set of brackets right here. That means that's clearly saying that in this problem, you perform all the operations in the numerator, then perform all the operations in the denominator. These are considered operations within a parentheses. All right, so it's kind of easier if we leave it as a fraction on the left. Okay, let's go. So the first thing I want to do is do what's inside the parentheses. I'm not going to be using the denominator yet, so let me just fix the numerator. So it's -3, -4, -1 is -5 squared. Let me just do this first. Okay, so now I'm still working on the numerator. So that's -3 times 25 over -5 2 cubed. Okay, now I could have done the denominator simultaneously, but I'm just going to do it step by step. So it's -75 over, now I can do the denominator, -5 times 8. So that's still -75 over -40. Let's see, a negative divided by a negative is positive, and it appears to be that, I guess 5 goes into both. So this is 8, and 5 goes into here. 15. And your final answer is 15 over 8. Okay, let's try another example. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to work the numerator first. And I'm going to show you that we can also work the denominator first because one does not affect the other. Okay, so the first thing we want to do in the numerator is what's inside the parentheses. Remember, do not subtract first, do not multiply first. We need to do what's in the parentheses. That's rule number 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. And this bottom of the denominator is 4 minus, again, we have 2 minus 3 is negative 1 squared. Okay, again, we want to do exponents. So that's 5 minus 2 parentheses 4. Do not remove the parentheses because you haven't yet dealt with the multiplication. Negative 4 minus 1 squared is 1. Okay, next on the numerator, we're going to do multiplication first. So that's 5 minus 8 before subtraction. And the denominator is negative 1 minus positive 1, so that's negative 5. Okay, again, we want to simplify the numerator first before we do anything else. And remember, do not cancel the 5s here. That's a no-no. It's negative 3 over negative 5, and our final answer is positive 3/5. Okay, let's try another example. Okay, here's another example. I suggest you pause the screen, the video, and then come back and check the solution. Okay, so the solution will be, let me work the numerator and then the denominator. One does not affect the other. So we get 5 plus, do what's in the parentheses first. 5 minus 7 is negative 2. And then we're going to cube it in a second. The denominator, what can we do first? We can do 18 divided by 2. We can actually do this 3 here because it's not, doesn't affect the 18 over 2. All right, now we can fix up the numerator. This is 5 plus, that's negative 8. The denominator is 9 plus 3. Numerator again is 5 plus negative 8 is negative 3 over 12. And our final answer is negative 1/4.